Blue moonbeam, won't you shine on me? You've done a lot of things and they said that you were all you could be. They told me you were much too wild. I said no, he's just my style. Blue moonbeam, won't you look my way? Blue moonbeam, you're the restless kind. You got a lot of spirit and you need someone to challenge your mind. I had the time to spend, you and I became fast friends. Blue moonbeam.
Truly, what we need is, the horse in as many views as possible in order to capture all of the detail. And we were provided many different views and zooms of the animal, so we have a good, strong amount of visual references which we can use and will use to be able to capture the portrait detail.
Selected this mold from the variety of horses that we have, as it is the closest horse in our inventory to blue. And then because it has some features that didn't reflect blue, the face is quite different, and we wanted to add some a nicer mane and tail to reflect blue. So the body, though, is very similar. So the work we have to do is on the head. And so this particular model is really a good choice because I could add and instead of subtract. Do you want to see production?
Sure, absolutely.
Element of the layout process requires a different kind of glass. So this is really strong. This is actually the same material they put in bulletproof vests, Kevlar. So this stuff is really dense and really strong. And we would use those in long sections of like benches or tables or the backs of horses or something like that. And then this lighter sort of looser fiber goes in areas where there's a lot of like small areas with a lot of curvature. And that's because you have to be able to press those fibers down into the resin to get the strength and durability of fiberglass. So you have to, the casters pick and choose the type of glass they use to make the best and strongest piece. Right now, he is saturating the glass fibers with resin to build up a layer of fiberglass. The mold is laid open, and then the fiberglass is built up until it's sufficiently strong. The fiberglass cures when it comes out of the mold. So you can see here the loose fibers. You can see the interior of the piece where it's kind of lumpy and a different color. And then the exterior here is made with a different kind of resin that is white in nature. So it's smooth. And then these raw fiberglass castings are taken to the sanding department where the finishing work is complete. So they seam everything together and sand all of the edges. The process for everything we make is the same. It's called open mold hand layup fiberglass. And it's a very specific type of production. Great that you sent me all those pictures from all those different angles, because that's when I can really see those lines and the planes and the shapes a little bit better. And so the goal is to get this from the angles that I have, carry the same line and have the same feeling of volume. But again, it's much closer than it was.
Yeah. It's looking good.
Magic Sculpt. And it's a 2-part epoxy clay. And it's chemically compatible with the resin that we use in the fiberglass. And so what happens is I mix half of this and half of this. And I'll do this later, so you can see me work if you want to. I mix it up. It's really stiff, so I have to mix just a small amount at a time. And then I apply it to the form. And then I smooth it out with water. And then once it cures, like yesterday I added this bit up here. I take a sander, which he may lend me his sander if he's very kind, and we sand it down, and then we go back in and we add if we need to. So you can see the process is a back and forth process. It's both additive and subtractive when you are working in the resin or the epoxy. So this one, I just added this yesterday. It needs a little bit of sanding down and some adjustments and stuff. So I'm reshaping and lengthening the ear of the original sculpture to make it a better portrait of Blue. So he's a longer ear than the original sculpture. For me, primarily because I can really thin it out and it'll still bond to the surface. If you really thin out acrylics, they don't bond to the surface, so I needed a paint that was going to stick. And so I'm using various shades of gray and then pure white. And we actually are using a process where I'm using a rag. So you can see how dirty this is, but I soak it with thinner and then I rag color on and off. So it's a lot of pushing the darks and the lights. And eventually I'll get to a point, you can see on this side, it's a little less layered. So this is the color here without any kind of alteration on it. So, you can see these first sort of soft, cloudy layers. The goal is to kind of mimic that dapple pattern. Blue is a kind of a complex horse because he seems to constantly be changing from the season. So he gets darker in the winter and then lighter. And of course, as he gets older, he gets more white hair. And so we're sort of trying to capture an approximation of him. So we're referencing mostly, he's got some very distinctive white markings. On the other side, you'll see he's got a sort of distinctive streak down his left paunch. And then some markings on his legs, which seem to be ever present. And then, of course, his face. So you can see, you just put on really light, soft layers, super soft. And then you take the rag and you kind of push it back a little bit. Then I'll attach the mane and the tail. So those are going to be real hairs.
Wow.
And we'll be attaching, so he has a forelock, and the mane, his mane seems to go to the left, so we'll have it go to the left. And he'll have a nice, long, pretty full tail.
It's a real horse tail?
It's going to be, yes, it's kind of it's a horsehair wig.
Okay. But made out of horsehair or not human hair? Yeah,
Horsehair.
Interesting. Wow.
A wig because of this specific type of hair rooting is a mesh into a mesh. It looks better than plugs into the horse. It looks more realistic and hangs more realistic.
Blue provided me with a lot of fond memories. I wanted to preserve his unique personality for others to enjoy. I think Brianne has captured that in a fiberglass replica of the horse I called Blue.
Blue moonbeam, won't you shine on me? You've done a lot of things and they said that you were all you could be. They told me you were much too wild. I said no, he's just my style. Blue moonbeam, won't you look my way?